We're going to do another coin problem. Barb has $1.15 in her wallet, which contains 18 coins in nickels and dimes. Find out how many of each kind of coin she has in her wallet. All right, we know that all she has is nickels and dimes. So let's make a chart to keep track of this information. And with coin problems like this, we have to keep track that the value of the coins is different from how many coins you have. So we're going to talk about the kind of coin she has. And we know she has nickels and dimes. So let's say that she has nickels and she has dimes, right? Those are the types of coin. And the unit value, unit mean one. How much is it for one nickel or one dime? And let's do everything in cents so we don't have to worry about our decimal points. So each nickel is worth 5 cents, each dime is worth 10 cents. And now we're going to put the number of nickels or dimes, okay? So the number, or you could put how many, anything to help you out here. We're going to have a column for the number of coins, number of each coin in the wallet, and then we're going to have the value. So we'll have the value of the nickels and the value of the dimes. Let's see, all we know is that there are 18 coins total. So let's let the nickels be N for nickels. Now I know that the total number is 18, so this becomes a problem of two numbers that add up to 18. I went over this on some other videos, but if you have two numbers that add up to 18, if one number is n, the other number has to be 18 minus n. Convince yourself, so I'm looking at the totals here. The total number of coins is 18, and convince yourself that n plus 18 minus n actually equals 18, because see how the n minus n, they're going to cancel out basically. Now, you could have let the dimes be D and then the nickels be 18 minus D. It doesn't really matter. I decided to go with N for nickels. All right, so the value of the nickels, remember, each nickel is worth 5 cents. So you take the unit value times how many nickels, and that equals the value of the nickels. So the value of the nickels would be 5 times N, or 5N, and the value of the dimes would be 10 times the number of dimes. Well, the number of dimes is 18 minus n, so I need to put 10 times and then in parentheses 18 minus n. Now, what's the total value of all the nickels and the dimes? We look back up to the problem. She's got $1.15, and since we're doing everything in cents, not in dollars, we're just going to write that's a total of 115, and this is where we get our equation, right here, third column. The value of the nickels plus the value of the dimes equals the total value of all the money together. So my equation is the value of the nickels, 5n, plus the value of the dimes, which is 10 times 18 minus n, equals 115. So this is the equation we need to solve. And there's different ways you might solve this equation. You could put this on pause and see if you can solve for n. So let's see. 5n plus, now I'm going to distribute my 10. 10 times 18 is 180. Minus 10 times n is 10n equals 115. And so on the, on the left-hand side, we're going to, you know what I'm going to do? I don't want to get a negative number, so I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by -1. All right, so I'm going to multiply both sides by -1. Now, you could have solved this totally different than me, but I'm going to multiply each term by -1, which means I just change all the signs. So that becomes a -5n, a minus 180, a plus 10n, and a minus 115. Right? So negative 5n plus 10n, that's going to give me a positive n. That's why I did that, positive 5n. And I'm going to add 180 to both sides. So I get 5n equals, then I have a negative 115 plus 180, so you have to subtract, and that'll give you 65. So we're going to divide both sides by n. Divide both sides by 5, so that n is 13. So it looks like the value of n, and I used n to represent the number of nickels, so we're going to have 13 nickels, right? So we remember what n stands for. It's the number of nickels. And we had, remember, 18 coins total, so it looks like I'm going to have the 18 minus n, of course, would just be the same thing as 5 dimes, right? So it looks like our answer is going to be 5 dimes and 13 nickels, but we want to make sure, so we're going to check. So here's the original equation, the original problem, that she had $1.15 in her wallet, which contained 18 coins. And remember, we solved and we got n was 13, so that was the number of nickels, 13 nickels. And if she had 18 coins, then that means she had 5 dimes. Now we got to check and make sure this makes sense. If you had 13 nickels, what would that be worth? Well, each one is worth 5 cents, right? So that would be 65 cents. And if we had 5 dimes, that would be 5 times 10 cents, or 50 cents. And if I add that up, I have $1.15. So it checks. You could put it in the chart again and do it that way. But basically, you just want to make sure that 13 nickels and 5 dimes really does give you $1.15. And also that you do have a total of 18 coins. Right? So now we're ready to just write the answer. Barb has 13 nickels and 5 dimes.